Hey guys, in this video, I'm walking you through step by step my maintenance detail on this Tesla Model Y, and we're talking about how to make $100 in less than 45 minutes in your detailing business. Now guys, let's go ahead and jump into the video. The context of this customer, this is a maintenance client who actually has a relatively new Tesla Model Y here, and I'm going to explain why this is really important in just a second. Also wanted to say I am going to be announcing something pretty important in about the middle of this video, so make sure you guys stick around to get that announcement. Now, as far as the context of this video, this is a relatively new maintenance client of mine. Like I've told you guys a lot of times, it's pretty rare that I take on new maintenance clients at this point in my detailing business because I'm just swamped with customers and I don't really take on new customers. But when they fit the bill and they're the right person to take on, it does benefit a sort of win-win strategy here for them to get on a maintenance plan and for me to build a relationship with some awesome people. And that's what we're doing here. But I want to talk about how to make $100 to $200 per hour through what I call the maintenance client secret, the maintenance client strategies. Now, I talk about this in vivid detail in my online program that I spent all of 2020 designing. Some of you guys have heard about it. It is called the Detailing Profits Masterclass. Now, it's actually been closed for the last 4 to 5 months, but I just wanted to let you guys know we are actually going to be opening that up for a select few group of people, not everybody, but a select few group of people here pretty soon. So if you're interested in that, I've put a link below this YouTube video in the description box where you can get on a waiting list. It's just an email list that tells me, hey, yeah, you're interested, and you'll get an email from me with a description of the details when we do open it back up on whether or not you actually qualify to get in, okay? So if you want to grab and be on that email list, no, I'm not going to spam you with emails. Just know that's down there and you can jump on the waiting list if you're interested. Now, I want to talk about practical strategy on how I win with maintenance clients like this, okay? We'll get to the money here in just a second, but the easiest and most effective way to build your list of maintenance clients in the beginning, here is literally the exact strategy and template you can follow. Number one, focus on people with new vehicles or relatively new vehicles or vehicles that are new to them. In other words, if they just bought this Tesla, but it's a 2015, as long as it's new to them, this is what I'm talking about. Now, why are we saying that? Well, because when is the customer psychologically most emotionally attached to the vehicle? In the beginning. So there's something called the familiarity bias in the brain, and what it means is the baseline of what kind of stimulates you begins to move upwards as you get more and more stimulation. Meaning, if I drove a clunker and then I moved up to a new Tesla, that new Tesla, because I came from such a crappy car before, is going to make me feel like a baller, and my baseline of what is actually going to be stimulating to me in the area of cars is actually going to go up really dramatically. Meaning, if I went from the clunker to a 2018 Honda Civic that's pretty nice, that Honda Civic is still going to be pretty awesome. It's still going to make me feel really good. Then in a few years, if I wanted to move from the Civic to the Tesla, that Tesla is still going to make me feel really good because it's still an upgrade. It's still a progression forwards in my mind. But if I jump from the clunker to the Tesla, and then a few years later, I go back to the Honda Civic, it's going to feel like a regression in my mind. And it's not going to actually stimulate me or release the dopamine or, that sort of stuff. My baseline of what is going to actually make me feel awesome in a car has moved up, and I'm not going to be able to move backwards and still get that same kind of emotion, same kind of feeling. Well, when someone gets that feeling, they're in that moment, that's when they're most apt to be obsessive about their car. Why would a detailer want to talk to someone who's obsessive about their car? Because that's job security for us. So I see detailer after detailer let this opportunity go with clients who have new vehicles. These people need to be your top priority. What happens over time? The Tesla becomes normal. That's actually what I'm talking about with the familiarity bias. We actually begin to need more and more stuff or more and more action as we get more action in order to stimulate the brain. So now the Tesla has become familiar, the Tesla has become normal, and it doesn't quite have the same emotional appeal to the customer 5 years later as it did in that first 6 months. So I want to capture that customer in those first 6 months, first kind of beginning stages of owning that car, especially if it's someone who hasn't owned an awesome car before, because that's when they're ripe for the maintenance program. It's also a win-win very practically because it is going to keep that car in absolutely stellar condition. Now, in addition to that, the other win of this equation is the fact that the car is already in perfect condition. Why is that good for us? Well, many detailers are under this guise and this kind of front that their job is to clean up really nasty vehicles because, well, that's what a detailer does. Yes, that's what most detailers do, but it's actually not what people who are trying to build a successful, long-term, hyper-profitable detailing business do. You want to get your hands on vehicles that are already clean. One of the biggest automatic wins in the maintenance world is the fact that the car is already perfect. Therefore, I don't have to work hard or overcome some big obstacle of visual appearance in order to look really skilled, like the hero of the equation, all that sort of stuff. See, the car is already easy to clean because it's already in great condition. It's like an artist who's handed a blank canvas that's already really easy to paint on. There's no dirt on it. There's no previous painting on it. So you can give it to the artist and it's going to be easy for that artist to put something beautiful on the page. Where if you dip that canvas in mud and then put it through a planer, that's going to be really hard no matter how skilled the artist is to make it look really good. So there's not this visual appeal obstacle that I have to overcome and not this excess of energy I have to put out in order to get a result that's going to look dramatically different to the customer. In addition to that, when a customer has a new vehicle that they're also paying to have maintained, the customer is more likely to convince themselves of how good the car looks and how beneficial the maintenance plan is. Why? It's the consistency bias of the brain. We want our experience and our thought patterns. This is kind of getting psychological, but we want our thought patterns to actually be consistent with the decisions we made, especially when those decisions carry weight. And when we put money behind a decision, it carries weight in our mind. So when the customer is paying you money on a regular basis to have this done and they're emotionally attached to it because the car is new, they will actually convince themselves that this is a really good investment, meaning you don't have to sell at the level that you previously had to with customers who are really afraid to have you come, not sure about the results, all those sort of things. Now, this is amazing because yes, maintenance does maintain the car in that way. It is beneficial to the customer. But when the customer can convince themselves of this truth, it takes the burden off of you to become salesy, and that just makes your life so much easier. You can focus on the business. Now, another huge tip that you guys need to understand is as you increase the interval of the time frame in which you service maintenance clients, it can be easier to capture more customers, meaning you don't have to be like me in the beginning stages because I was not here in the beginning stages when I was building out my maintenance client list. I didn't have weekly customers, bi-weekly customers, monthly customers. In other words, you can start at a 90-day interval and say, hey, customer, why don't you get on the exterior maintenance detail plan every 90 days? That's 4 times a year, once every 3 months. And then you emphasize the discounted rate at which you offer this service. Because if this customer has a Tesla like this that's garaged, it's going to be maintained, you can put a long-term protection on it in between every 3 months when you see it, then let's say it takes you 55 minutes to do the simple maintenance plan that I'm doing here, which is a simple wash, a simple protection, and some tire shine, right? This is a very, very simple maintenance package. Well, let's say that the first time you visit it, because it's a one-off customer, it's $175, but the discounted maintenance rate is $95. See, you can emphasize this $80 difference to the customer, and people love getting a deal. We can actually play on the psychological biases at work here. Hey, customer, not only do you not have to pressure yourself to sign up for a 4-week or once a quarter, once a week, once every 2 weeks, once a month, but you can sign up for once every 90 days. That's only 4 times a year, and it's very low pressure, very easy cost, and it's at a huge discount. Here's what you'd normally be charged if you just call me at random, but if you jump on my every 90-day maintenance schedule, this is the kind of discounted rate you will be getting. People love a deal, even if it's for something they don't at the time consider totally necessary. Guys, with all of that being said, please take these strategies, implement them in your business. If you want to check out the tools and products used for the most basic exterior maintenance detail that you see me doing in this video, please go below in the YouTube description box, because it's going to really be helpful to get the right tools and the right products below so you don't waste time and energy on stuff that doesn't actually work. And make sure you start implementing these strategies, because they are time tested and proven to work. Now, without further ado, let's go ahead and check out the after result of this Tesla Model Y maintenance. Alright guys, that brings us to the end of the video. Make sure you go below in the YouTube description box and grab my free guide to starting your auto detailing business for less than $500, so that you get the full list of tools and products you need to get into the business and start making money like this with maintenance clients, with Teslas and awesome higher level cars where people are willing to actually pay you for their time, pay you to do a job they don't want to do, build relationships with people, and build a long-term successful detailing business the right way. Once again, that free guide is in the YouTube description box below this video, how to start for under $500. As always, guys, thank you so much for watching, and from Luke here at Wilson Auto Detailing, keep working hard, and I'll see you guys in the next video.